Hey guys, what is going on? It is Chris here. Chris here. Hopefully, you guys are all having a pretty good week, and it is Friday, so hopefully, you guys are gonna have a pretty good weekend as well. So, anyway, haven't done a video in a couple days. Hopefully, you guys hopefully, you guys have been doing pretty good. We've been all right. We've won one or two and lost two, so kind of 500. Not the greatest, but hopefully, we get back on track. So, yeah. Anyway, we have a massive 14 game slate here today. We're not gonna go too in depth into every single game; it would just take too long. Anyway, I'm gonna name a couple pitchers that I like, and then we're gonna go through a couple bats that I'm looking at. Probably about six or seven that I'm really gonna highlight, and yeah, it should be a half decent slate. Like I said, we got a ton of games here. No weather concerns as of now. We got some pretty high totals as well with Texas in a 10.5. We got a 10 in Kansas City, relatively high in Milwaukee. And then let me see what else we got. That's mostly for the really high ones. And we got a couple pitching matchups to look at as well. So, anyway, yeah, like I said, I'm going to name a couple of my favorite pitchers here, and then we're going to name some of my favorite hitters. So, anyway, my number one pick here of the day is Mike Sorka. For obvious reasons, I think a lot of people are going to pick him. He is facing Miami. They have been doing a little better, so that's the only downside of picking Mike Sorka here. Is like I said, Miami has been hitting pretty good. So, yeah, but like I said, last two he's been all right. Hopefully, he can get that 40 at 45 in this one. I do like him. If you want to go cold, that is totally up to you guys. Like I said, both these guys are in pretty good spots, but I'm probably going to pick Sorka over Cole. But both of them are in very good spots here tonight. Moving on, our next guy that I am liking a little bit cheaper here is probably Kyle Gibson here at $8,800. He is facing Detroit. Kyle Gibson, one of those guys I don't think a lot of people are really going to have here tonight. But definitely, he's one of my top pitchers here. My number one rated cheap option. And like I said, I don't mind him at all. He's actually been playing pretty good. 55 and 30 in his last two. So 8,800. If you get you 34 to 35, 36 in this one, it will, shouldn't be too hard to get to that. So I do like him quite a bit if you want to go mid range and stack up on some of your bats there. Also, as I mentioned, Garrett Cole, he's my third pitcher. So like I said, Sorka or Cole as your number one. That is up to you guys. I like either one of those. Other pitcher I like is Andrew Heaney. He's a little more expensive than Gibson, so he's probably my second option if you're looking for kind of mid-range to upper here tonight. 33 and 43, had 43 in his last time versus Seattle, had a ton of strikeouts, 18 strikeouts in two games, which is not too bad. So I do like that here quite a bit. So I do like him. I don't think his ownership should be too high. Might gain a little bit of ownership on DK, but that's kind of what I'm looking at. So those are the ones I'm looking at. I don't mind Kershaw, Zach Plesac, GPP only. I think against the Yankees, he's been pretty good, but he's facing the Yankees, so anything could happen there. He did face Boston and did all right. So, but for sure, I'm looking at Sorka, Gibson, Cole, Andrew Heaney. Those are probably my top four that I'm really looking at here today. So that is it for that. Let's go look at a couple other bats that I am looking at. This is a FanDuel and DraftKings play for sure. I do like I actually like a lot of Nationals here, but I do like Howie Kendrick quite a bit here tonight. Relatively cheap. I don't think a lot of people are going to have him. There, guy spelled his name wrong there. Howie Kendrick, only $3,300. Should be in the starting lineup against a lefty. We saw what Washington did last night against a lefty there in San Diego. I know it's not the best place to hit, but I do expect their ownership to be relatively low. So anyway, we get Nick. I'm not gonna say his last name. Anyway, he got lit up last game. Sorry, his last time out against Miami. And like I said, Washington has a couple guys that can hit lefties pretty good. Howie Kendrick, Brian Dozier, he can hit lefties. Anthony Rendon for sure. Trey Turner, Victor Robles. Probably going to have exposure to quite a bit of those guys here tonight. So that is kind of what I'm looking at. One of my top options at first base here, only $3,300. So I think he's in a pretty good spot. And like I said, I do like him quite a bit as well. on DK. All right, we are going to move on to the outfield here. Like I said, I'm just picking a couple of guys that are on my list early, not doing any stacks, just picking some of the top options here. Anyway, I do like Austin Meadows. He is my number one rated hitter here tonight. Howie Kendrick is number two. I really do like Meadows. Taking on Rick Porcello, kind of been up and down. Meadows doing pretty good. Like I said, I don't think a lot of people are going to have him. He's a little expensive, but I'm probably going to have Meadows in a couple of my lineups. So, yeah, I like him here taking on Rick Porcello. Ownership, I don't think is going to be too high on this massive slate. So I think that's another good spot for him. Let me see anyone else. Yelich, he's expensive, but I do like him. Josh Bell. If you don't want to go Howie Kendrick, you can go Bell. But like I said, I'd rather have Howie Kendrick. Another guy that I'm looking at, which I don't think a lot of people will have, is Derek Dietrich if he is starting. I do think he might hit a bomb here tonight. One of my top home run guys here on the slate that I'm looking at. So another guy I don't think a lot of people are going to have here against Zach Eflin. Not the worst pitcher out there, but I do think Dietrich could get a home run here. Like I said, a lot of ratings that I'm looking at are liking him. So $3,000 second baseman. I don't think a lot of people will have him. Kind of been down the last couple days, but as we know, he's one of the dudes that can hit multiple home runs. So I don't mind him. Like I said, that's a GPP only. I don't think a lot of people will have him. Also, don't mind some Francisco Lindor, Cody Bellinger. Freddie Freeman, Rafael Devers. Those are some other guys that I am liking here. And let me see what else I got going on for you guys. See if there's any cheaper guys. As I mentioned, Victor Robles, I do like him. Anthony Rendon, not cheap, but I like him. David Freese taking on Drew Pomeranz. Definitely look at Freese, Kike Hernandez, Taylor, Justin Smoke. I don't mind him against Kelly there in Arizona. No one's going to have him, but definitely can maybe do a one-off with him. And that is mostly what I'm looking at. Bregman, Hunter Pence, Pete Alonso, some of those guys. Like I said, don't mind a couple New York bats either against Sensatella. He's just been trashed this year, so I really don't mind a couple bats against him. So that is kind of what we're looking at. I'll briefly just go look at some of the pitchers to target if you are going to stack here. Hold on, let me go look real quick. Sorry, I'm looking at my phone, looking at some of my my cheat sheets real quick. Let me see what else I got going here for you guys. So yeah, I don't mind a couple of Kansas City bats taking on Ivan Nova, Murfield, Mondesi, Gordon, guys like that. Don't mind Mike Trout, David Fletcher against Marco Gonzalez. And then who else? Shoot, who's the other guy? I always mention him. Just forgot his name. Cesar Pulo. I think that's his name. I don't mind him against a lefty. And as I mentioned, Washington stack against San Diego. A couple of New York guys against Antonio Sensatella. Obvious picks, Bregman, Brantley, Reddick against Gabriel Yono in Baltimore. Maybe one or two bats for Texas against Anderson, but they're mostly a lefty heavy lineup, so I don't know how many bats I want. But I definitely don't mind a couple Dodgers. It said they were taking on Drew Pomeranz, and now it's saying Jeff Schmarsh. Let me go look real quick just to make sure what we got going on. Let me look here. All right, so it says Drew Pomeranz, but having some other things saying Jeff Schmarsh, so it's a little weird. But anyway, yeah, definitely don't mind David Freese, as I said there. So that is mostly it. Like I said, just briefly going through all the people that I like. So like I said, recap here, Mike Slorka, Kyle Gibson, Cole, Andrew Heaney are my top four pitchers. Zach Plesac in a GPP. And some of my top hitters that I mentioned are Austin Meadows, Howie Kendrick, Yelich, Bell, Derek Dietrich, Lindor, Bellinger, Devers, and Freeman are some of the other guys that I'm looking at. So that is mostly it. Not the longest video. Like I said, I got some stuff to do today, so I decided just to do a quick video for you guys. You know, it's not the most in-depth. If you guys have any questions, you guys can hit me up on Twitter. You know, hey, would you rather have, you know, this guy or this guy? You know, let me know. I'll try to get to you if I'm not. Sorry if I can't. Then I do apologize. Doing a lot of studying. So that is mostly it. So as normal, we'd love to have you guys come join us. $10 a week for FanDuel and $10 a week separately for DraftKings. To get in on it, check out our Twitter in the comment section below. All right, guys, that is it. Like I said, not the longest video out there, but hopefully some of those picks that I mentioned should do half decent for you. So that is mostly it. Hopefully, you guys have a good start to your weekend, and we'll see you guys a little bit later.